Hi, I'm Ida Muhammad Isa, and this is DUE 30022 Communicative English 2 Week 3 lesson. So the course learning outcome is to describe a product or service effectively by highlighting its features and characteristics that appeal to a specific audience. Let's recap Week 2's lesson.
The bone conduction technology and open ear design of Aftershok's headphones allow athletes to hear music without muffling encouragement from a cheering crowd or sounds of the city. The titanium are entry-level headphones. The air are for elite athletes. Titanium repel sweat, sound crystal clear, and stay in place during workouts and training. Aftershok's kept those features in the air and made the new headphones lighter, widened the dynamic sound range, and lifted the headband for a more comfortable fit. Both headphones give access to the best of both worlds, music and atmospheric sounds, without resorting to have one earbud flopping in the wind. Hear the sounds of the city, golf course, or mountain trail while wearing the titanium. Hear environmental cues and chat with other endurance athletes while training for triathlons and marathons while wearing the air.
So in Week 2's lesson, we learn how to differentiate features, characteristics, and functions of products or services. So you learn to differentiate in terms of the shape, the colors, the characteristics, and the specification of the products or service that you have chosen. Apart from that, you also learn regarding asking for and making clarification on products or services. This week's lesson, you will get tips on how to present a product or service. Let's watch another video.
This is a day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years. Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. And Apple has been, well, first of all, one's very fortunate if you get to work on just one of these in your career. Apple's been very fortunate. It's been able to introduce a few of these into the world. In 1984, we introduced the Macintosh. It didn't just change Apple, it changed the whole computer industry. In 2001, we introduced the first iPod. And it didn't just change the way we all listen to music. It changed the entire music industry. Well, today, we're introducing 3 revolutionary products of this class. The first one is a widescreen iPod with touch controls. The second is a revolutionary mobile phone. And the third is a breakthrough internet communications device. So, 3 things. A widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolution.
The video is an introduction of the iPhone back in 2007 by Steve Jobs. So if you look at his characteristic during presentation, these are the best characteristics. So are you ready to present like Steve Jobs? In order for you to present a product or service effectively, you need to be able to understand the audience needs and expectation. Just like Mr. Steve Jobs, he knows what his customers like and he tries to bring it out in his presentation. So, in your presentation, you need to know what are the points that I want my audience to know. And when you're talking about products or service, customers or audience usually would want to listen at what are the advance of the product or the service that you choose. And it will help you focus on the goal of your presentation, which is to describe products effectively by highlighting its features and characteristics that appeal to a specific audience. So knowing what your audience want to hear would really help you to achieve an effective presentation of your product or your service. You can start your presentation of product or service by highlighting the objective. For example, the objective of my presentation is to present a new product that, right, so you need to explain to the audience the objective of your presentation so that the audience will be informed of what you're going to talk about. And you can actually have an element of surprise, just like how Steve Jobs started off with his presentation by showing the past technologies up until the latest design that he wants to share in his presentation. This can be an example of the sentence or the phrase that you can use for you to begin your highlighting your objective. The objective of this presentation is to describe product A and compare it to product B. Or you can say the objective of this presentation is to persuade all of you to be interested in product A comparing to product B. In order for you to make the best presentation of your product or your service, you need to be able to relate the product to your audience. So how do you do this? You need to analyze your audience. And in analyzing your audience, you should become them. And even you are one of them because you'll be presenting in front of your friends. So put yourself in the shoe of your friends who'll be listening to your presentation, and you need to ask this question: how familiar is my audience with the product or service? Next, is my audience likely to understand the features and functions that I'll be using? So you have to know that one particular person may not even know the product that you're about to present. And comparing to the other friends, they might have a little knowledge about the product. So this will determine how much information that you'll be presenting to your friends about the product. Then, when you likely to understand the features and the functions of the product, then your audience would also understand them. So make sure that when you are explaining the products, I repeat, do not just read from the specification tables and without understanding what is the real functions or the real features, the attractive features of the product or service. Okay, so just like when you are presenting a product or you want to know about product, say for example, a handphone. So you go to the shop and what are the things that you want to know about the phone? You would be asking that to the salesperson. So this is what your friend wants to know too. What are the things that's most important and most useful and what attracts them to buy that product, right? So the more you know about your audience attitude, the better you'll be able to plan your presentation. So the next subtopic is present a product or service in pairs or in groups by identifying values that appeals and proposing solutions. Let's understand what core value means. Core values are the fundamental belief of a person or organization. This guiding principle dictates the behavior and can help people understand the difference between the right and the wrong. Core values also help companies to determine if they are on the right path of fulfilling their goals by creating an unwavering guide. So there are many examples of core values in the world depending upon the context. So in the context of products and services, it appeals to the company's profile. So every company would have their own core values. So let's look at what are the company's core values. Usually when you're in an organization, you will hear or see posters on vision, mission, and values of the company. So the vision, mission, and value statements form the foundation for all the activities in an organization. The vision statement will describe what the organization will become in the future. It is broad and usually it's inspiring, and it intends to get the attention of the audience or the customers. The mission statement defines how the organization differentiates itself from other organizations in its industry. It's more specific than the vision statement and is intended to show the stakeholder or the customers what are their needs and how the product or the service would satisfy them. And the value statement usually defines how people in the organization should behave. It provides a guideline for decision making. So the vision, mission, and value statement will guide the behaviors of people in an organization. So in presenting your product or service, you need to identify what are the vision, the mission, and the values that the company background of your product that you choose, right? So for example, if the company, Disney, the values are to make people happy. IKEA, to create a better everyday life for the many people. British Broadcasting Company, to be the most creative organization in the world. Avon, to be company that best understand and satisfy the product, service, and self-fulfillment needs of women globally. And Sony Corporation, to be a company that inspires and fulfill your curiosity. So you need to be able to understand the values of the products that you bring so that you can use it in your presentation to get the audience more appealing to listen to your product description. So you can start off by saying what is the motto of or the mission or the vision of the company that the product that you're talking about, okay? So that would make audience more interested to be listening to your product or service. Examples of values: ethical practices, customer focus, commitment and transparent management, empowerment and accountability, adaptability to change, or innovation and creativity. Values identification from products and services. Products or service, it can be the same and usually are the same. So in this era of competition, many products are similar. In that case, it's not necessary that the product should be unique. What's different is your attitude to the customer, your service, your moral values, your competency, feedback, your service, and customer satisfaction would make a big difference, thus making the product unique. So how do you present a product that's valuable? You can touch in terms of its quality, benefits, innovative, reliable, an authentic product, and etc. For service, you can touch on the customer satisfaction, the commitment of your service, trust, caring, responsible, and etc. Effective presentation does not require only verbal communication, but it also requires non-verbal communication skills. So in this subtopic, we're going to look at an effective presentation using verbal and non-verbal communication skills. Let's watch a video to understand what are verbal and non-verbal communication. So a combination of verbal and
Created using how to.
non-verbal communication would help you to present your products and service better. Verbal communication and non-verbal communication. So verbal communication is a medium for communication that involves talking using the spoken words, such as talking face-to-face, on a telephone, or as a speech. And a non-verbal communication complements a verbal communication. It is a medium for communication that involves using cues via body language to convey message content. Facial expression, body gestures, and voice intonation are forms of non-verbal communication. Let's look at the aspect of verbal communication.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
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 No. Let's break it down. I
I
would
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 weird
would
weird
would
would
like
like
to
toi
to
toi
to
toi
buy
b
buy
b
buy
b b
a
a
hamburger
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 ham
m
burger.
burger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
It's not hamburger, hamburger.
I'm not saying dimburger. I said I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy the hamburger.
Hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
Maybe we should stop.
We don't quit. We do not quit. Again.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy a
I
hamburger.
would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy the burger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
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 So here's an example of verbal communication. And one important aspect is pronunciation. If your pronunciation is good in presentation, that will make it an effective presentation. Correct pronunciation is important for audience to understand your points. There are two important aspects of pronunciation of individual words, word stress, and the individual sounds themselves called phonemes. Make sure you know how to correctly pronounce at least the key technical words or words that you repeat over and over again in your presentation. Just as in the case of individual words in English, a particular syllable receives stress. So do particular words in a sentence. Sentence stress concerns stressing particular words in a sentence, usually at regular intervals. English speakers stress words that are important for meaning, such as nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, negatives, demonstrative, and the interrogative. And unstressed ones includes article, auxiliary verb, preposition, and conjunctions. Apart from pronunciation, voice is another aspect of verbal communication. The voice, or more precisely the quality of the voice, should be used to its fullest. Qualities include loudness, speed, whether you go fast or slow, variety of pitch, whether you go high or low, silent moments or pauses. The voice is very important to indicate the importance or the meaning in what you're presenting. Next, it creates atmosphere and to avoid sounding monotonous. And if you sound monotonous, your audience will get bored and they might go to sleep. Now that you understand verbal communication, let's look at what are non-verbal communications. So what people notice when you're presenting, if you're face-to-face, they judge you 93% on how your appearance and your body language. And 7% is influenced by the words that you speak. And you see, 93% is a majority percentage where audience would prefer looking at how you look and what are your movement and your body language. So people won't remember what you said that much. They will remember how you say it. The first nonverbal communication, eye contact. So eye connection has two major benefits. People in your audience will feel that you have genuinely connected with them and that you care about their reaction. Number two, it will gain the audience attention. So if you look at the audience would, of course, look at you back. So that is why eye contact is important in presentation. Next, facial expression. You do not want to look boring during your presentation. So, facial expression plays a role. It should be natural and you should look friendly to your audience. Don't forget to smile. And examples of facial expressions are raising your eyebrows to show surprise, open eyes wide, squinting your eyes, knit your eyebrows to show consternation or puzzlement. Another important nonverbal communication skill is posture. Proper posture during an oral presentation includes standing up straight and standing tall. As you stand upright, you also want to be relaxed and natural. Stand with your feet apart and your shoulders squared, facing the audience. A relaxed, straight posture will convey confidence and authority to your audience. If you have improper posture, then the audience would tend to look at you in a different way. So improper posture are, for example, slouching or leaning. Some presenters become overly nervous and attempt to anchor themselves by shifting or leaning sideways. This distracts listeners from what you are saying. So don't lean on walls and tables or the podium. It will appear overly casual. So your stance should also be natural and not stiff. If you appear too rigid, it will convey discomfort to your audience. When an audience senses discomfort, it takes their attention away from the message at hand. Another nonverbal communication relating to body is your movement. So the way you move during an oral presentation is an extension of your posture. Too much movement can make you seem nervous, while standing rigidly without movement is off-putting. So limit your motion, moving only to emphasize a point or mark a transition in your presentation. To emphasize a point, lean in or move forward. When indicating a transition, you can move from side to side. And if you are an inexperienced presenter, using a podium will anchor you. So you only have to focus on the upper half of your body. This will also give you a place to rest your arms. Remember, though, not to lean on the podium. Right? You should also use suitable gestures in your presentation. So what are the suitable gestures? Up and down head motion or other movement to indicate importance. Pen or pointer to indicate a part, a place on a transparency or on your slides. Shrug of your shoulder to indicate I don't know. Hands back and forth to show two possibilities or less. Arm movement back and forth. So try to use your hand gestures in your presentation. And this means that you are pointing to a point that you are saying in your presentation. So try to use gestures when you are talking. All for the lesson today. I hope that you will make an effective presentation of your product or service. So with that, if you like the content, please like the video and do subscribe if you have not subscribed to get latest videos on communicative English lessons. Thank you for watching.